Hey everybody, it's the Diva, and I'm here with a quick video for you on Diddy and Cassie. Listen, as this trial gets closer to its actual date, the more tea we're going to hear. And it's already started. We got a few weeks out before the trial starts, and we're already getting all the tea, so to speak. So the latest tea is that Diddy's team, they want Cassie to hand over any information on paper, a saved document on her computer, any files she had on a book that she was going to write about Diddy, a tell-all. They also want her to show all her bank statements. And you may be saying, well, why do they want her bank statements? Well, initially, when Cassie went to sue Diddy, she was suing him based on the fact that said, listen, I'm about to write a tell-all book about our relationship. Now, if you want to squash it, you want to shut the book down, then give me $30 million and I won't write it. And then when that wasn't kind of working out in her favor, she got herself another lawyer. And that's when they came back and told Diddy, well, forget the book. We're going to do a whole civil suit against you, charging you with R and all kinds of other stuff. Now, many people may say, okay, maybe I'll get why they want these so-called, records of anything she has in regards to writing this tell-all book. But why would they need her bank statements? See, a lot of times y'all sleep on me over here, and that's okay because, I like to have fun with y'all. And then when it comes out later that what I said is so, I like to go back to the video where I told y'all it was so. I told y'all initially that when they raided Diddy's homes, they didn't find what they thought they was going to find. And I said it's going to be a minute before they arrest him. And I said on my channel here, way before they arrested him in September, that 9 times out of 10, he's going to get arrested in September. I was right, and because I like to play games with y'all, I dragged up that video to let y'all know I told y'all so way before anybody said so. So when they talk about wanting these bank statements, I said it many times on this channel, and I'll say it again. They want those bank statements, in my opinion, because all along, for years since they broke up, Diddy was sending money Cassie's way. Even while Cassie was married to the husband, he was sending hush money, if you want to call it hush money or whatever. He was sending money Cassie's way. So many people, when she did sue him, before she made it public, people was calling him dumb, stupid, and bold because they was like, why wouldn't you settle with her behind the scenes? Why would you wait till she made it public and then one day later settle with her? And I told y'all over here the reason why. Because those two has been playing those back and forth games for years, where she would come to him every now and then, need another 10 million, I need 5 million, I need whatever. And he would give it to her. And his last time, which was the death of him, probably literally, when she came and she upped the number to 30 million, he was like, oh, heck no. And that heck no cost him because he called her bluff. And she put down her trump card and she filed the lawsuit. And then one day later, they settled. So they want those bank statements. And the reason why they want those bank statements, in my opinion, is because they're going to point out how over the years, she's been coming to Diddy for money. But let's get into the story. Y'all can let me know your thoughts. Those are mine. Okay. So let me share a screen. So Cassie, Diddy wants my book, bank statements, tell him kick rocks, judge. So Cassie says Diddy is fishing around, demanding she turn over her bank statements in the book she wrote about him. And she wants the judge to put the kibosh on his legal request. According to new legal docs obtained by TMZ, Cassie is trying to get the court to kill a subpoena she claims she was served by Diddy's legal team. Cassie says Diddy sent her a subpoena on March the 19th, demanding she turn over all draft memoirs, autobiographies, narratives, diaries, journals, or notes, and any communications about plans to publish or threaten to publish such a document. What's more, Cassie also claims Diddy demanded she hand over her bank statements. The subpoena is interesting on a couple levels because earlier in Diddy's case, one of his attorneys, Mark, claimed Cassie had told Diddy she had written a book about him that he could catch and kill for $30 million. Mark claimed back in September that Cassie had her lawyer call Diddy lawyer on a recorded line, informing him she had written a book about their relationship that she planned to publish. Mark also claimed Cassie indicated to Diddy he could buy the rights to the books for $30 million to prevent it from being published. Let's just take a listen. Pluto thumbs up. Thing is, Mark claimed Diddy balked at the alleged offer. He claims Cassie switched lawyers, and her new attorney told Diddy in November 2023 that the book was no longer important because a civil sex case was going to be filed. Let's take a listen.
Wild lawsuit that Diddy's ex, Cassie, filed against him, alleging rape, alleging human trafficking.
That was when she first did it. I'll get back to that in a minute. Also, as you know, Cassie ended up suing Diddy for R and abuse, and the day after she filed, they reached a settlement. In regards to Diddy's subpoena, Cassie says his requests here are premature and way too broad, and she wants a court to kill the whole thing. Well, I'm telling you that with the bank, let me stop that for a minute and I'll play it for you. What I'm telling y'all, what the bank records is about, the bank statements is about, because he knows what he gave her in the settlement, but he wants the bank statements to show all the money he was giving her previously. Those are my thoughts. Let's listen to when the first time the case was filed. Hold on.
Wild lawsuit that Diddy's ex, Cassie, filed against him, alleging rape, alleging human trafficking, other misdeeds. Yeah. As quickly as it came, it went. Just over 24 hours after she filed the lawsuit, they settled it late on Friday night. This was shocking. I mean, we knew that there would be talk of a settlement. I just didn't think it would come this quickly. But on Friday night, I went to sleep on Friday night, right? And it was an active lawsuit. I woke up and then you had gotten into the post, and you it's like, what? Yeah, yeah. We had to change. I mean, I was falling asleep on the couch actually Friday evening, and then someone called and said they're settling the lawsuit. So we got it up on the website, but the question is how? How could something this rancorous and serious end on a and the dime? Statements that both Diddy and Cassie released said that they were settling this amicably. Cassie made mention of she wanted to. By the way, this. How can that be? It's almost an oxymoron, right? And the fact that they both used the word amicably and said, all right, this was part of the deal. Exactly. And she said that she was settling because she wanted to have some level of control over what kind, because obviously if she went to trial, all sorts of things were going to come out, and clear she did not want to go through that. Immediately, like the moment that the news of the settlement came out, the debate then turned to, well, does this mean that she was telling the truth, or does it mean that Diddy was that she made it all up? Which way do you read this? The fact that they settled it. Diddy's lawyer wanted to make that something very clear about this settlement. He said, just so we're clear, a decision to settle a lawsuit, especially in 2023, is no way an admission of wrongdoing. Mr. Combs' decision to settle the lawsuit does not in any way undermine his flat-out denial of the claims. He's happy they got to a mutual settlement and wishes Ms. Ventura the best. Now, that is interesting for a couple of reasons. Number one, the fact that he denied the claims in his statement, that sometimes in a settlement, the other side will ask for an admission. That did not happen here. It is simply a true statement. And I'm not, by the way, judging her versus him on this. Right. But there is a truism here, which is that you can never look at a settlement as an admission of guilt. You cannot do that. There are all sorts of reasons, and we're going to get into this a little bit later in the show about Shakira settling. But there are all sorts of reasons why people settle. It could have to do with embarrassment. It could have to do with money. It could have to do with worrying about public perception, especially when you're a celebrity. So, or it could be that the allegations are true and you want to stop it. So you can't judge one way or the other. You really have no way of knowing. You can't judge one way or the other by settlement.
One problem I think that a settlement could bring in, though, is copycats, right? I mean, maybe not as far as validity in their claims or if those are false claims, but if you are somebody who sees, hey, you know, Cassie.
And of course, it brought in copycats. Now, that does not mean that these copycats were not telling the truth. But anytime like this, the floodgates are open. Oh my God, Cassie was brave enough. Cassie was the girlfriend. Cassie endured all of this, allegedly, according to her, right? And, you know, she endured something in terms of abuse because we saw the video. So they're saying to themselves, well, now I'm going to be brave enough and I'm going to come forth also. But I'm telling y'all, as part of what was going on between these two, there was always throughout the years this exchange of funds back and forth, right? And then this last time when she came with the $30 million number, he was like, oh, heck no. And like I said, it was the death for him, so to speak. But, you know, what I find is normally when you are paying people to either shut up or be quiet, it never goes away. When the money runs out that you gave them initially, they're going to come back for more, and they're going to keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back. So to me, I would never let anyone blackmail me or bribe me, because one thing I know about that situation, it just never ends. Let's continue to listen.
He said all this against Diddy and he settled and maybe paid her just a few days later. I'm going to try something like that too. I remember I met Diddy back at a party and this happened and I'm going to say this in a lawsuit. You know what I mean? I feel like it kind of, because of how quick it was, opens the door to people thinking, oh, wow, you say stuff against Diddy, he'll just pay you.
Well, not only is that 100% true, but sometimes by settling this quickly, it shows, wow, you can make a claim and almost like that, you get money.
And keep in mind that Diddy's lawyers had said that she'd been trying to, the word they used was extort or blackmail Diddy to the tune of $30 million, that she was threatening to write a tell-all book, and she wanted $30 million. So then the next question when the settlement came in was, and although there's no mention of any money being exchanged,
of course there's money.
Of course there was money exchanged.
And here's the thing about that.
Why didn't he just pay?
Why didn't they reach this before the lawsuit was filed?
From Diddy's standpoint, it probably didn't pay her $30 million, right? If they're admitting that they say that's what she was asking for before.
I understand that, Charles. But if they're negotiating, which they always do,
right?
Why did they not negotiate, or especially him? Why didn't he do this before she filed the lawsuit?
He didn't do it because, as I stated, for years back and forth, they was going and they always agreed upon a number, and she went away for a little bit. But then she would come back when the money ran out. And this time she decided, you know what? Instead of me getting these little pockets or whatever she was getting here and there, I'm going to go for the gusto. I want $30 million. That's why. Let's continue.
Feels like there was a game of chicken going on, doesn't it?
It does on a level, but on another level, it's so obvious that, look, he gave her enough that she was satisfied because it happened that quickly.
10 million? I mean, I know we have no way of knowing.
Whatever it is, she could have said no to the settlement offer he made and said, and she could have said, well, I'm just going to keep going. But the fact that she settled it that quickly, right? Why wasn't it worked out before? It's baffling to me.
I agree. It just seems like they could have reached a number before she filed the lawsuit.
Right.
Nakia from Los Angeles. I think this case is really interesting. I think that Cassie did what she needed to do, and that was the civil suit. And I think the reason she did it the right way was to get her story out there. Whether you read the documents, whether you believe the story or not, I think that she got the story out there. I think she did what she wanted to do to control the narrative and not go through the trauma of what a court case would do. And I think that Diddy and his team are going to go forward being strategic. I think seeing Diddy out after the settlement and photos and being captured looking distraught, I do think it's part of the strategic plan, because I think fans and folks are going to
So hold on, this is interesting. I remember this picture, and that is Christina. That is who he called his right-hand person, okay? He said, Christina, get things done. She finally recently broke her silence and said that, you know what, she didn't see Diddy do anything crazy, and it's unfair what people are saying she did. Let's take a listen.
Watch Diddy going forward and figure out who's going to be around him, who's going to work with him. So I do think capturing him outside looking distraught, it's all part of a strategic plan of his team trying to salvage his reputation.
You are a smart person. That is a well-analyzed point.
That video was Diddy over the weekend in Miami. And yeah, I mean, he definitely looked like he has a lot on his mind. And I want to just one more thing before we move on. What you said is true, that a settlement does not is not an admission of guilt. You have no idea what the reasons were for this settlement, for them reaching the settlement.
Right.
But I will say that in practice, you know this, that Michael Jackson, for the rest of his life, was always played with the question. Everyone always said he
paid
settled
$20
that
million
lawsuit.
with Jordan Chandler.
Right. And so everyone thought, both sides of it thought that was.
I think this is an issue.
That Diddy will have that same thing now going forward.
He will, but it's an issue of the least damage caused.
Right.
You know what I mean? That you go to trial, it's going to be a hell of a lot worse.
Listen, guys, let me stop sharing. This is going to be interesting. We're at the beginning stages of where we're going to have all types of information coming out in regards to this Diddy case. So all I can say is really stay tuned. Listen, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for watching. My thoughts are here, as I told you throughout this video. They want the bank statements because they want to prove that they have been giving Cassie, or Diddy has been giving Cassie all along throughout the years. And they want to say that this last effort of her coming first with the book and wanting $30 million was a shakedown. And then, the lawsuit was a part of that. So just like, the prosecutors are trying to show a pattern with Diddy, they're trying to show a pattern with victim number one, who is Cassie. And that pattern that they're showing is that all along throughout the years, ever since they broke up, Cassie kept coming back to Diddy and demanding money for what went on in their relationship. Listen, guys, let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button. I'll see you on the next video.